Okay, awesome. So we're ready. Oh, Diana, how do we turn the music? I think so, or maybe it's not. I think it's not. Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight and welcome you all. I appreciate the commitment. Sorry about the time confusion. But moving forward, you know, it will be 7:30 to 9 p.m. And of course, this serves as our multi-region meeting. So what that means is it's our Discover Arbonne event, followed by some recognition, and then we also, of course, have our nuts and bolts training. I try and keep the training very general. However, of course, there are certain things that might be team specific, so I always say go back to your nation, follow your nation system. Hey, so I want to welcome you all. I am Michelle Newman. I'm a regional vice president in Arbonne, but most importantly, an independent consultant. And I say most importantly because in Arbonne, we all start at the same level, which I love about this. So we all have the same starting point and we all grow in this together. So I'm going to actually, though, we have a special guest here tonight. So I want her to come up and kind of just share her story. And she'll be up again later training on some tips for going region. But we do have Colleen, who I'm really excited to have here tonight. So if you wouldn't mind coming up and share a little bit about your journey and your story, because I think we will all definitely benefit from it. And like I said, later on, I know a lot of you guys are ready to go region. Who's ready to drive that Benz? Yeah, that's right. So she's going to be giving some tips later on in our training section as well. So. And the video is right here if you want to
stand here,
come around so you can see yourself.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
I know. Isn't that fun? So
okay. All right, cool. So there's people watching this?
Yes.
All right, awesome.
No pressure.
No, exactly. Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And if there's guests here, brand new consultants, welcome. My name is Colleen Hill, and I'm an executive regional vice president with Arbonne. I've been with the company, actually, this is my second time with Arbonne. I was with Arbonne briefly about 28 years ago in Los Angeles. My girlfriend, who is an executive national vice president with Arbonne, Sandra Tillinghast, she and I came into the company and we were like, oh, we're going to make a truckload of money, you know? But what happened was we both did come into the company 28 years ago, and what happened with me was I immediately got recruited by a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills. And he made me an offer that, of course, today I wish I had turned it down, but I didn't. And what I feel is really powerful about my story is you get to hear about two women whose lives were mirrors of each other, and one made one decision and the other one made the other decision. And so Sandra and I were both broke, single parents. She had a 5-year-old little boy, I had a 5-year-old little girl, and we had zero support from anybody. And I don't tell you that to have you feel bad for us, just kind of paint the picture. So there was no support from family, no support from the fathers of these children. We were on our own. And she decided to stay with Arbonne, even though she was scared, and I was scared, and I took a day job. And there's nothing wrong with the day job, but that's what I did. Thought it would be a secure, you know, career to support my daughter and I. And until about 13 years ago, in 2004, on a Saturday, I got a call from Sandra Tillinghast. She was sitting on the beach in Hawaii, taking a month off from her business. She just picked up the phone to call and say, hi, Colleen, you know, how are you and Courtney doing? And in that phone call, I asked her two questions that I had never asked her over the years. And I know her. She's like a sister. So you kind of understand. We know each other very, very well. So the first question I said was, how's your business doing? And she said, it's doing very well. And I said, whatever. I said, okay, okay. I said, so how much money? I would never ask Michelle this question. But I said, how much money are you making? And before she could answer, I go, and I call her Sandy. So I said, Sandy, I don't want to hear about the balloons and the flowers and the fluff, just cash. How much money are you making? And she said, well, I can tell you what I'm doing a month. And I said, okay, that works. So her answer was a major wake-up call for me. She was earning almost as much money a month as I was earning a year. And my lifestyle hadn't changed at all. Are there guests here? Is there any guests? Oh, but I'm on that. Yeah, no. Yeah, we don't do. We did that in Mary Kay, though. Here's my paycheck. We don't do that. So, well, it was a lot. It was almost what I was earning a year after a 14-year career in medicine. Okay, so we hung up. I sat there. I'm like, wow, now that was a smart business decision, Colleen. Like, man down. I looked at my life and I realized I had no retirement. And my life hadn't changed at all. Now my daughter was a full-time college student in LA, double financial whammy, college and then Los Angeles on top of it. And I was living paycheck to paycheck, sending my income to her so she could stay in school. And I realized if I didn't do something different, I was going to have to live with her in retirement. Not a good idea. And I knew that if I kept doing what I was doing, I was just going to keep getting the same result. And I knew that another job, a different job, which there's nothing wrong with day jobs, but I knew that another job wasn't going to do it for me for retirement. So I called her back the next day. I had some questions, and she answered them, and I made a decision, and I just jumped in. I made a small investment, which was important to me. You know, I knew there was going to be an investment. It's a business, and I'm a businesswoman, and I'd been helping doctors build. But I made a small investment. I was in Raleigh, jumped in with both feet, beyond terrified. I mean, just like beyond terrified. Getting up in front of people is not my favorite thing to do, and 13 years ago, terrifying to do. And I knew I had to grow through that stuff in order to create the kind of income that I wanted. But hit the ground running all by myself and broke. But in 11 months, I was driving around Raleigh in a paid-for Mercedes by Arbonne. I earned a trip that year to Hawaii, which was nice. Sandra and I went to Hawaii together, replaced my income that year, and gave myself a really nice, at least in my world, it was a really nice raise. And over and above that, probably more for brand new consultants and guests, is that the lifestyle that I had through the whole thing was incredible. I can remember driving around in Raleigh going, oh my gosh, I've got Sandra's lifestyle, you know, meet my girlfriends for lunch, and the money's on its way to me. You know, the financial part is it's going to show up, and it did. And yeah, that's it. That's my story. I think there's any more. Oh, no, there is more.
And
I take that back.
Rocking it. And where are you today, lady? Wow.
We're rocking it. Yeah, we promoted out a new region this past month. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. But, you know, Rita Davenport, our ex-president, used to say 3 things to us. And I took this to heart. Thank the Lord. And it was prepare for impact. Don't spend all your paycheck. And if you take care of your business, someday your business will take care of you. And I took those things, thank the Lord, to heart, because I ended up getting side-blinded with a serious health issue. I've only been back to work after 3 years, for about 7 months now. But the good news is I didn't spend all my paycheck, and I had a lot of money set aside. I also had really good health insurance, but that money bought me out of the box alternative MDs to get well, huge. And then I had that residual check that came in every single month while I was down for the count. And my team rallied like there was no time. I got one of my biggest checks in probably 5 years while I was in Chicago going through treatment, because my team just was like rallying. So yeah. So a belief in this industry that's just unshakable. Yeah, so. But thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
No. It's on the phone. It's on the table.
Oh, good. Okay.
Perfect.
I'm glad. Oh, good. Perfect. So I do want to share a little bit about the Arbonne opportunity. And like I said, just a little bit of an overview. And again, this is something that we have guests listening to and we can share. And really, I can't say enough about this business and what it's done for me and my family. I love your story, Colleen. Thank you so much for sharing and for being so honest and really, you know, painting a picture of what this has done for you and for your daughter and your family and your lifestyle. Because I think sometimes, you know, especially when we just get started, we look at it about the money, right? And we're like, okay, what's the income? Like, what can we make? You know, and really, it's not about that, right? It's about, yes, the money is great, but it's what the lifestyle that we're able to live, the opportunities that we're able to give, the connections that we're going to be able to make. If she didn't have those personal relationships, her team rallied. Why? Because of who she is, right? And the relationships that she's built with them. So it is so much bigger than that. For me, a little bit about my Arbonne journey. I was someone where I honestly, if you would have told me that I'd be in Arbonne or any other network marketing company, I would have laughed in your face. I was that one friend. I didn't care what it was. I wasn't coming to your home party. I avoided them at all costs. And to be honest, the only reason I went to my first Arbonne presentation was because my mother-in-law bribed me. And she told me that she'd buy me something if I went. And so, yes, I know, I went kicking and screaming. And just to paint the picture for you, at that time, my mother-in-law was watching my daughter for me, who was a year old, 13 months old at the time. And so when my mother-in-law said, "You're coming with me," I was like, "Yes, ma'am." So I went, and I was asked 2 questions. The first one is, where will you be in 5 years if you continue to do exactly what you're doing today? So I'm a speech language pathologist and a behavior analyst by trade. So I was working in the schools. I was actually working at a university supervising speech pathology students as well as clinicians. I was teaching a graduate course at another university about an hour from my house. And all I really wanted to do was to be a present parent. And when I thought about where I'd be in 5 years if I didn't change something, I didn't see anything changing. And that was really scary for me. My husband and I, if you looked at us on paper, you would say, "Oh, they make a great living, like they're successful, right?" But the reality of it was I was time poor, and all I really wanted to do was be present. And I think that question that night hit me really hard because I had just watched my daughter take her first steps on a video that was sent to me by my mother-in-law. So I was like, wow, like I listened with an open heart and open mind, like we'd ask each of you to do. And, to be honest, this video was shared with you. You're invited to be a guest here for a reason. Even if you're new into Arbonne, it's because somebody wants to add value to your life. We don't just look for anybody with a pulse. I always tell my team, I'm like, you want to find people that you want to do life with, people that you want to share a room with in Vegas, because that's where our annual conference is every year. People that you want to be on the beach with in Maui, right? I mean, these are the people that you want to invite into this business. So if you were shared, someone shared this video with you or invited you here tonight or shared this business opportunity, and maybe you're here as a brand new consultant, it's because somebody sees value in you and they want to help enrich your life. So I listened with an open heart and an open mind, like we ask everyone to do. And at the end, I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this thing called Arbonne. So I called my husband on the way home, like any good wife would do, which was my first mistake. And I said, "Babe, I'm going to do this thing called Arbonne, and I'm going to make all this money, and I'm going to get a free Mercedes, and it's going to be amazing." And my husband's like, "Michelle, have you lost your mind?" Like, number one, nobody gets the free Benz, which PS is parked in the parking lot, but nobody gets the free Mercedes. It's a pyramid scheme. And what he said last is really what hit me the hardest. Where do you possibly see yourself fitting this in? You already have so much on your plate, and you're just going to add one more thing to pull you away and time spent away from our family. So that did it. That was like the final, like, I was already scared. And if you're thinking about something like this, usually we have fears and hesitations. Any major life decision, we usually have fear, right? So I didn't do it. Well, fast forward a year and a half, almost 2 years later, actually, I had just had my son. So I relocated to the Carolinas. 8 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant with my son. And, and my friend called me who had started her Arbonne business. I was at her launch, kind of similar thing. She jumped in, I didn't. And I was like, "Well, how's Arbonne going?" At the end of our conversation, here I am on maternity leave. I was working still in the schools as a speech pathologist, relocated to the Carolinas. Really, the only thing that changed was that I had another kid in the mix, right? And the new state. But I was still time poor. And so at the end of our conversation, I said, "Well, how's Arbonne going?" She's like, "Well, I'm making an incredible income. I'm retiring early from teaching because I'm making more with Arbonne than I am now." She was at the top of the pay scale in New Jersey as an educator. And I will tell you that at the top of the pay scale in New Jersey as an educator, you're looking at about a 6-figure income or near there, right? And I was like, "Wait, hold on, let me do the math. You're making what?" And so for me, I was like, that's incredible. She's like, "I went to Puerto Rico, paid for by Arbonne. You're going to Los Cabos, paid for by Arbonne." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Like, this could have been me. Like, this would have been me if I would have jumped and followed my heart," right? So I always tell people, I'm like, you can think of 50 million reasons to talk yourself out of this opportunity, but follow your intuition and your heart. You know, this is a turnkey franchise that you can start for $79, which I'll talk about, but you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And here I was listening to it, right? So I decided at that point, I didn't even talk to my husband, not that I recommend that, but I didn't even utter a word to anybody. I was like, I do not care what anyone says. I'm doing this for me and my family. And I jumped in both feet, and I promoted very quickly. And, you know, it's funny, I was an area manager, which if you're a consultant, you know, if not, that's our second management level. I was an area manager for a long time. And, you know, I was very much of the mindset, how can I have more time with my family? How can I bring myself home, at least to a more of a part-time position, and be more present? How can I get my son a day? Me, right? It was all about me. My husband lost his job a year into my Arbonne business. Okay, so I was an area manager at the time. And at that point, we were savers. Okay, so 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months go by. Then Arbonne's paying my mortgage. Arbonne's keeping my daughter in her gymnastics classes. Arbonne, if you follow our healthy living program and you eat clean, you know it's expensive. Arbonne was putting our groceries on our table. And when that happened for me and my family, it was financially devastating for us. No matter how many degrees I had and how many letters I had after my name, my husband was always the primary income earner in our household. So are you prepared for impact? That's that second question. What's your plan B? Well, we thought we were, but it wasn't long before Arbonne was completely keeping us afloat. And at that point, that's when I realized this isn't about me. This is not about me and my family. This is about each of you. This is about your guests that are on here. This is about paying it forward to other people, because we never know who is looking for this opportunity. Guys, this skincare is great, right? The nutritional products are amazing. But I'm going to tell you, what keeps people up at night when they're laying their head down on their pillow is not that they gained an extra 10 pounds. It's not that they have these fine lines and wrinkles showing up. What's keeping people up at night is because they have more month left than money. Because like if you've heard Jill speak, you know, another RVP who couldn't be here tonight, you know, she was saying she would pray. She was praying in Target that her debit card would go through. Guys, you are not serving others if you are looking at selling products, because best thing that we have to offer is this business opportunity. And that's what I want to share with you guys tonight, because when I had that shift in my mindset and I realized this isn't about me and my family, it's about paying it forward, that's when we went region. And it was literally a matter of months. I decided in February, by May 31st, we were paid as regional vice president. Okay, so it is a matter of a decision. And I know last month we were talking a lot about the fourth quarter possibilities, right? It's a decision. It's game time. So, so a little bit about Arbonne, if you don't know, you know, everything is pure and safe. We have several things that we really adhere to, pure and safe products. Really, everything is beneficial, third-party tested, validated. I mean, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about products, because even if you're on here as a guest, someone who's sharing this video with you is giving you products and sharing you about with you about products. The products are pure, they're safe, they're beneficial, right? The best thing from a business perspective that I'm going to talk about is that we have over 450 of them. Well, with the holiday line, I know we have like 500 now, right? Between that and our new product launches. So we have tons of products that are all held to these really high standards. And the beauty of this as a business model is that we truly have something for everybody. You know, we have infant up through menopause supplements. Okay, we have a baby set, right? So we have so many different options to offer people, nutrition, skincare. I'll tell you guys, from a business perspective, I had someone I met at the post office, this sweet lady, and I had offered her, you know, an energy fizz stick, and she took it, and she was like, okay, and I started talking about protein. She's like, she just checked out. She's like, you know what, nutrition's just not my thing. I'm like, okay. Like, we also have anti-aging skincare. Her eyes got huge. She's like, really? I'm like, you know what, I just got a tester back. I'm gonna give you a full-size trial, right? So she's a preferred client who orders religiously. Why? Because we have so many products to offer people. So from a business perspective, that's huge. We're not pigeonholed into just one area. The other thing right now is social marketing. Now, if you're here as a guest, right, or you're here and maybe you're even a new consultant, and if you're here as an existing consultant, I mean, I still get Facebook messages from companies, from reps from companies that are like asking me about joining their team. And I'm like, do you not see that I'm a regional vice president at Arbonne? I am not going anywhere. Like, life is good in the Newman household, and there is nothing better out there, hands down, product-wise, compensation-wise. I hope you guys realize as consultants what you're sitting on, because this is the best thing out there. And I feel very confident. I sat down with many distributors, representatives, whatever you want to call them, from different companies, gone through ingredients, and I will tell you, every time that we've actually done that and really looked at it, guess who's made the switch? Them. Okay, so we have a lot to offer, but the reason I'm talking about people messaging you and all of these posts on Facebook, because social marketing is the business of the 21st century, right? People are tired and broke and exhausted, or I should say poor, either time poor or financially poor, right? And they're tired of that 9-to-5 daily grind. I don't know about you guys, but I know, as a speech language pathologist, as a supervisor in a university, I hated that someone else dictated what I was worth. I also despise the fact that the more work I did, and the better, and as great as you are at your job, they're like, oh, you do this really well. I'm just going to put one more thing in your responsibilities. And I'm going to give you a raise. Nope. Nope. It's just part of your responsibility, right? I mean, when I left the university, I was literally doing 3 jobs for 1 paycheck. Okay, so I tell you guys this because people are looking for this. And if you don't open your mouth and offer Arbonne, or you decide that Arbonne isn't for you, guess what? Somebody out there who's aggressive, right, with another company is going to come. And you know what the sad part about that is? If we're too scared to talk to them, number one, we're making it about us, right? And it's not about us. It's never about us. But the second part is that they're going to join someone else. And then the sad part is, most times when I see that happen, it's fizzled out in a few months. And you know that what you have to offer is better. So honestly, social marketing is exploding for these reasons. And really all it is word of mouth advertising. If you think about it, what's the first thing you do when you go to a really good dinner, you have an amazing experience? What do? You tell someone, right? People, I always joke about this. Some people are actually yelping when they're out to dinner, right? How great their experience was. You read a great book, right? You share. That author isn't cutting you a paycheck. The only difference is that Arbonne is paying you to refer and share something that you believe in and that you're using. So, why Arbonne? Why now? Well, number one, we are exploding. We are a global business. That is launching in Germany in 2018. So we're in the US, UK, Poland, New Zealand, Australia, Taiwan, what am I missing? Canada. And we're going into Germany in 2018. So, but you can be an entrepreneur with low startup costs. You have part-time or full-time earning potential. You can literally build this business from your cell phone. My second AIT trip, so I've been in the business for 3 years. The first one was the Oasis of the Seas. The second one was Atlantis. I signed up 2 business partners in Atlantis from my cell phone because we had Wi-Fi at the Atlantis, right? If you have Wi-Fi, you can do this business anywhere. We are green, we are vegan certified, we are gluten-free, non-GMO, free of toxic ingredients. So I talked about this. The other thing I'm going to talk about briefly is just the compensation plan, because if you're on here as a guest or you're a consultant, this is something where, for me personally, a lot of people, like I'm telling you right now, it's about heart and it's about sharing this business with other people and giving people a possibility, and it's not about the money. But most of you signed up and joined Arbonne because of the income potential, right? I mean, really, that's why people really consider something like this. So, it is important to share. And a district manager on average is making, about $200 to $300 a month. The highest, I always say about a couple hundred to, a $1,500 range is about the highest, right? So there's just like anything else, you determine it. So some people, like I promoted to district manager in 10 days. That's my journey. That's not everybody's journey. And that's okay. The average time to the position for a lot of people is 7 months. So it just depends. The next level, and also as a district manager, you actually get paid overrides on your own product purchases, which I like that. I'm like, oh, you actually get paid to shower. You get a little kickback in your commissions for your own product purchases. The next level is area manager. This was really powerful for me when I first started because this was a willable business. And it didn't matter what happened, you know, if I didn't go to work, I didn't get paid, right? Whereas with Arbonne, you have residual income. You know, my husband, my 2 kids, and I, we love camping. We were away backpacking and camping, no cell service. And I came back and I was up a ridiculous amount in sales, right, in volume, and I didn't do a thing. Why? Because it's residual income, so you can will that business to your family. And, you know, the range there, it's about $1,500 on average, usually about, you know, $1,500, about $4,000, $5,000 a month is the average income. Some people do it in 21 months. Like I said, everyone has their own journey. You know, for me, I was able to do it in a few months' time, but that's not everybody's journey, and that's okay. But the fact of the matter is you determine where you fall. And then the next level is regional vice president. Regional vice president, is, people will call that the Benz level, right? That's where Arbonne allows you to earn up to $800 a month cash bonus to put towards your Mercedes. You can buy it, you can lease it, doesn't matter, it's yours. And you're making roughly on average about $5,000. The highest is typically about $11,000 a month on average, okay? So, and a lot of people do that in 35 months. So you think about that. What could that do for you and your family? Maybe your mortgage payment, your car payments, right? College tuition, right? I mean, start, you know, really think about what that could do. And then you're also, every level has bonuses that you're also eligible for. The top level is national vice president. So Arbonne bumps up your, you know, your Benz bonus. So instead of the $800, you're actually up to $1,000 a month for your Mercedes. And you're making about $22,000 on average a month. And that's a month, because I remember my first presentation, I was like, wait a minute, is that a month? Yes, on average. So as a national vice president. And honestly, at that level, just think of all the lives that you're touching and changing. You know, it's not, I mean, $22,000 a month, I'm not you guys, but I'm not looking to spend that personally, but I think of all the causes and the things that I can do with that income and the changes I can make in people's lives. So, so those are the different levels. So we keep it simple. There's really just 4 management levels. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some common fears and hesitations. And you might be sitting here, like I said, as a new consultant, as a consultant who maybe started strong, and maybe you're like, well, you know, it's been a little quiet for me. I had a busy summer, right? But I want to talk about common fears and hesitations because there is fear. And we say, you know, fear is false evidence appearing real. And one is that I don't have enough time. Honestly, how much time do you think you need? To be real, like I started my business, and this is just part of my story. I started my business with an 8-week-old and a 2-year-old. I lived in the state of South Carolina for all of 6 months, and I was working in the schools. You know, my whole network, everybody was in New Jersey, where I'm from. So, you know, but it is something you fit in the nooks and crannies of your life. I love my friend Megan. We grew up together. She's an executive regional vice president in Arbonne. She's a principal of a school. She's got 3 kids. She coaches all their sports between she and her husband. So I tell you guys this to tell you that it's something, all you're doing is changing your conversations. I don't have enough money. Will you ever have enough money? Right? And how much money do you really think you need? It's $79, and the only other additional investment that you can choose is, and actually for this month, it's actually free to join if you order a couple of our sets at 50% off. So, you know, you think about that, and the only other investment is really the products for you to be using. I don't know enough people. I didn't know any of you before I started Arbonne, right? That is the beauty of this business. Probably 3/4 of my success line, my team, I did not know before starting Arbonne. If you know one person who knows somebody, you can grow a team. And I don't understand the business model. Well, this is a learn as you earn business. And the last one is I'm not a salesperson. I always tell people thank you, because that's what I'm looking for. Like, you know, this business is not about making a sale. And people sometimes who come in with a sales mindset, they flounder in this business. And I know Colleen's nodding because she's probably seen the same thing. If you make this about making a sale, you don't get what Arbonne is about. It's a culture, it's a relationship building business, it's lifestyle, it's educating. I tell people today, I could not sell you a vacuum to save my life. Honestly, but can I educate people on healthier choices? Can I help make meaningful changes for them and their families? Can I empower people to live their best lives and grow as leaders? Absolutely. And that's what this is about. So, you can think of 50 million reasons why this may or may not work for you, right? And you can think of, what if this doesn't work? And I want you to stop and really ask yourself, what if this does? What if you give Arbonne your all? What if this does work for you? What will January 1st of 2018 look like for you, whether you're a consultant or a guest, if you decide to really take the leap of faith and make a decision and decide what's possible and that you're going to live the rest of 2017 all out and all in. So thank you guys so much for hearing a little bit about the opportunity. I do want to know we have some recognition. So if you're here and you have recognition, if you want to just come up real quick, I have the roses here. So I'm going to go ahead and let everyone wants to come up who has recognition to give. You can go ahead and start.
Hey guys, I'm Denise. I'm area manager. Well, not an area manager yet. I'm in qual.
Yay!
Yay! So I will be finishing up this month. So next month I'll have good news for you guys. And Ashley, I'm so excited. She went into district qual last month.
Yay!
And we had Bonnie. She's not here today, but she went in DM qual last month as well as made her DM bonus. So
nice.
Exciting.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congrats, guys.
Can I ask if is that thing about in the parking lot? That found your
I found her wallet.
yeah.
Oh,
I found her wallet in the
This
office.
is how this business works.
Yes.
Wait, I didn't hear
And
that.
so her Arbonne card is how I called her to say I have her wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
was
had a
shocked.
baby. I was a hot mess. And he was playing with my wallet at Aldi and was, must have dropped it in the parking lot. So that's how you win. People, go for it.
That's amazing. And what a testament to your character.
I ignored the
But
call because I'm like, who is this?
Yeah, so I texted her.
So she texted, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'll be there. I pull up and she's standing in the parking lot. She's like, are you a health coach? Because I found your card. I'm like, yeah. She's like, I need you.
I love it.
I'm a foster mom with 3 babies, so that's why I like it. I can't eat peanut butter and jelly.
Oh my gosh. I love it. What a great story. See, I love these connections because it's so crazy how you meet people and you don't even know. There's definitely a divine intervention. People are put in our paths at the right time. So that's awesome.
So I have 2 recognition. Actually, I have 4, but 2 of them are not here tonight.
Okay. Well, if they're on, you
So they might be on.
Yeah.
So the first one is Sarah Moreau is officially a new district manager.
Yay!
So congratulations to Sarah. So Sarah and congratulations. She has worked so hard. Sarah and David, her husband, are working the business together and had incredible results in the 30 days. And so some people start off as preferred clients, some people hear about the business and jump on that first. But they just really, could talk here about the results and the medication. And it's just an incredible story about what happened and how they're looking to share that with others and grow their business. So congratulations. Oh, actually, it's 2 because there's one for David. There we go. Sorry, mix up. There you go. Okay. And then the other one is my mom, who it's funny because when I did a 3-way call with Ashley, my regional vice president of my team, she was like, think of one person in your life that you could really see being amazing in this business. And I was like, oh, my mom would kill this business, like knock it out of the park. But she already has a successful business, making, MVP income. She doesn't really need this. But what I found, and she can share too, is that Arbonne offers so much more than income potential with the time freedom and all the other perks, as well as the culture that has really opened her eyes of what she can do with this business. So she not only is now an executive district manager for promoting Sarah, also earned the next level retreat, which is huge. So there you go. So excited to be in business with my mom.
Ready, 1, 2. Awesome.
My friend, do you guys know Danielle Lauber?
Yeah.
And so I used to go to their meetings in Ohio, and so Danielle ended up getting like her mother-in-law going and 3 of her sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you think your network's too small, it's not. Yes. So the next level retreat we have in November, the beginning of November. Got a lot of vacations before baby comes. So that is going to be amazing. Miranda Burcham, if you guys know her, is our executive national vice president on our team, and she 4-wide and is leading this retreat in November that it's going to paint big vision so that we can all go region whenever we decide to go region.
So you'll already be a region by then, right?
I will be. Decided. I'll give you a room.
Yeah, Michelle, I actually have
Great, perfect. Yes, please do.
new to this.
So I have a new district manager who is in Colorado, and so
Okay.
she's not here. Charlotte Malloy. She promoted this month, so that made me promote to executive. So that's exciting. And
Yay, that's a big deal. You get both.
thanks. And Kirsten Palmer is Director Charlotte, and she is actually in DM qualification. So
Yay.
we expect her to finish. She hit her golden brick.
Nice.
She will finish DM next month because she's a rock star. She signed 6 preferred clients and 1 new consultant all last month.
Holy crap.
So yes,
Good job.
she's rocking it out.
Nice. Yes, that definitely deserves recognition.
Yes.
Anybody else have any to share here? No? Okay. So I know I'm going to go through my list pretty quickly because most of them, if not all of them, are not local or aren't here. So we have a brand new district manager who is in Illinois. I know she's watching, and that is Alyssa Foster. So congratulations, and she was promoted by Lisa Daniels, who was going to be here, but unfortunately is unable to be here last minute. Qualification for district, I know she's also watching in Washington State, and that's Jamie Jackson. In New Jersey, we have qualification. These are all qualification for district. Christine Donga, Katie Krupe, Elaine Newman, Karen Bott. Now in Tennessee, we have Natalie Mashborn. In North Carolina, we have Naomi Colon. In South Carolina, we have Lori Lloyd. In North Carolina, Christopher Britt. Tennessee, nope, I already said her. North Carolina, who's working tonight, Robin Mullis. And then in North Carolina, up in Asheville, Casey Jackson. So those are qualification for district manager. We have an area manager in qualification who should be here, but she's up in Banner Elk, so I can't blame her for that. I guess she deserves it. So, but I know she's tuning in. Or if not, we'll be watching the recording. Hopefully she's out at the winery right now. But she's area manager in qualification, and a lot of you guys know her. That's Kelly Mack. Yes. Yay. District manager bonus, we have Kelly Mack and Lisa Daniels. And then most sponsored preferred clients and consultants at 150 in Central District. That is Lisa and Melissa, but it's a tie. So one's in Maryland. And so yeah, so that's recognition. And now we have some training to do. So I'm really excited. Katie is going to come up here and train tonight. She's going to be our first trainer. So I'll let Katie come on up. And Katie, if you want to just share like a 2-minute of your story, so we kind of have a little background. So I'm going to get my notebook out so make sure you're ready to take your notes.
So I am an area manager in our ongoing region. In the next few months, I have decided, Michelle, team is just growing like crazy. It's amazing when you decide and have that vision and speak with intention and belief. Because some people are like, oh, I'm saying things, but do you have that belief behind it? So that really makes a difference. So I went to it was a skincare healthy happy hour at my friend's house. Skeptical like Michelle, not in the products, but myself. And I didn't really have a lot of friends at the time. My network was very small because I was working 4 jobs as an OT. So I realized last time that Michelle and I have very similar stories of being in the health profession. And I was working as an occupational therapist with seniors. So at Brookdale Senior Living, if you've heard of that. And I was also working PRN and a bunch of different jobs. And then when I went that night, I was like, oh, I think I even called my mom and I said, you know, they talked about the bins and I'm just not into that. And but what my sponsor, Lindsay, did was give me her skincare set. And so I went home and tried that, and I made a huge difference in my skin. I've always struggled with my skin. So within a couple of days, I texted her and I said, okay, I guess I need to get some of this. So I met her back up for coffee, and she asked me, you know, if you keep doing what you're doing, where will you see yourself in 5 years? And are you working all of these jobs because you want to or because you have to? And so she had planted this seed in my mind, even though she knew I wanted nothing to do with this business. So I offered to host something at my house, and that night I just listened a little bit closer. And I thought, you know what, one day I do want to have kids, and I don't see myself wanting to have to go back to work right away. I want to be able to choose my time and spend that time how I want. And so it was very much my journey so far of the last year has been preparing for impact, because you never know what life's going to throw your way. And so I went district really quick in a couple months, simply by sharing the 30-day program and the products. And then I did a 3-way call with Ashley, my regional vice president, and she really did a great job of painting the vision for me, because I didn't have that vision at first. And she said her older sister, Jamie, who's the national vice president on our team, replaced her physical therapy income really quickly, and has been making triple what she could make as a PT. And so that really opened my eyes, because I thought I made a great income, and I do, and I'm very grateful for what I do. But I knew that if I just kept doing that same thing, I was still going to be tired at the end of my days, and nothing was going to change 20 years later. So I decided to start listening to SoundClouds and recordings and just listen to other people's stories to really build that vision in me, because you never know who you can relate to. And so I always love coming to these meetings, no matter how many times I've heard Michelle's story, because it really, or anyone's story, because it paints that vision that much bigger. And so I think because I plugged in so quickly, I felt this fire underneath me to share with more people, that there's got to be other people out there like me that are looking for something else. So I became an area manager in 5 months, and just building a team like crazy, because I know that there are other people that are looking for this. And so my bigger vision now is to be able to travel to Ecuador, where my husband's from, and be able to live there for months at a time and use my skills as an occupational therapist, because I love what I do, but I want to be able to do it on my time and not have to sacrifice the hours and be so tired at the end of the day. So Arbonne has already done so much for my life. I'm going to Mexico in 10 days because of Arbonne. And yes, I'm so excited. I've been on so many trips just over the last year, and really just following the system. And Arbonne does such a great job at setting you up for success if you follow it and share your passion with others. So I just can't say enough good things about this company, and stick with it. And join if you already haven't. So I'm going to share a little bit about preferred client training. And that way, this season is when I went area. And so it's really, really important to jump in this time. And even if you don't promote to where you want to be this month, it's going to set you up for momentum, that your business will continue to grow in the coming months. So as far as preferred client sponsoring, not only do we have the amazing holiday line out, and then the new essential oils and all those new products, we also have the $20 fee that's completely covered.
Yeah.
So I think some people are like, oh, I gotta be $20, which make it simple for people. Even if that $20 fee is there, it's gonna come back. That they automatically get 20% off with that $20 fee. And I think sometimes, actually most of the time, a confused mind says no. And so if you don't paint that like right away, hey, if you get this, this, and this, you get a free gift. They're like, I don't know what to get. And so they just end up getting one thing and not become a preferred client and getting that free gift. And so you really want to build relationships with people and serve them, ask them what they're currently using. Like Michelle said, the lady she offered skincare to wasn't really into, or nutrition too, wasn't really into nutrition, but the good thing is that we have skincare. And so find out what people are already doing in their lives, what they're using if they have kids, and get to know them so that it's not just about you, it's what you can do to help them with the products. And we also have the 40, do you guys know what the 40 Faces is? And then, yes, so that, and then through
Help
this.
me, because I don't. That's the sheet that you just share the Arbonne opportunity.
Okay.
Does everybody have
I
that?
am
It's a
not
great
I
document.
do
If
not
ask her
recognize
offline.
that.
Okay, it's got 40 faces. I mean, that's just a tool. It doesn't have.
Yeah.
Yes, sharing the Arbonne story with 40 people.
And the full story. So your
Yes.
story, why Arbonne, why them, and then, you know, a little about the products and the business. It's just the full story of Arbonne with 40 Faces. That will get you into momentum and following that system. And there's also a texting challenge that helps as well. So it can be however much momentum you want to be in. So ideally that 30 to 40 new faces a month is going to set you up to be in region in about a year. Sponsoring about 5 new PCs or consultants a month is setting you up for region in about a year. So if you can do that every month, and that can be through one-on-ones, through coffee dates or things like that, or it can be through bookings. Bookings, obviously, you're going to meet a lot more faces a lot quicker, and it's more time efficient. But coffee dates are also a great way to go. So if anyone has questions about the 40 Faces or the texting challenge, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer that afterwards. But it's another good way to meet people, to find new people to become preferred clients. And like I said, you want to keep it simple as far as what people want to buy. So show people how to get a discount and get their free gift, and send that list right away so they're already looking at what they can get as the free gift. And build 150 packages for them based on their interests. So I had someone that was interested in the phytosport. They only wanted the pre and post workout when they first reached out to me, right? Well, that's not a 150 order. So I said, she said, do you have any specials this month? I said, absolutely. You can get 20% off your package and a free gift if you add this to your order, this. And I just laid out 2 separate options for her. So it was either adding, I don't remember what it was now, fizz sticks or the digestion, for example, because I already knew she was interested in nutrition. Well, she ended up not going with one of those, but she found something else that she liked. She didn't want the bath salts, and then got the fizzies as the free gift. So anyways, it started that conversation going because she saw that she was going to get a free gift with it if she got to a certain dollar amount. But kind of giving those options right away will help them get to that a lot quicker. We have a shake challenge in our team. I don't know if anyone else has seen that, but the 30 Days of Healthy Living is incredible, and you never want to stop talking about that. But if some people aren't ready for that yet, and that's okay. And so you can do, we have an 8-day shake challenge, which is basically 1 bag of protein, energy fizz sticks, and the Fit Chews, if I'm not mistaken, and then you get a free gift with that as well. So it's a great way to get a 150 order in, help people get used to the products and started with the products, and then you get that 150 PC sponsoring.
The shake, fizz, and what?
Shake, fizz, and Fit Chews, and that gets them to about 152, I believe, in QV.
What do you normally do? Is the free gift another box of fizz? Or?
Yeah, they can choose whatever. They could add digestion plus if they
Digestion plus,
wanted.
sometimes our greens.
Yeah,
maybe,
greens.
like,
Hmm.
throw in their shakes.
Yeah, and some people end up getting skincare because they want to do something different than nutrition. So it's nice just like shoot that list over right away when they say they're interested in the shake challenge. And you can start those on your own. If your team's not doing it, do like a private group and shoot that over. Okay. I had a friend that just wanted, I reached out to her because I had a big goal last month to earn this next level retreat. And she said, oh my gosh, perfect timing, I need some makeup. Well, she only wanted 2 or 3 things. I said, oh my gosh, if you get one more thing, you're gonna get a free gift. So just kind of helping them get to that. And then the best thing you can do once they get that become a preferred client is follow up. We have consumable products. You want to build that loyalty system with them because we're consumable, and so you want to keep having those repeat orders. So letting them know, hey, on your next order, you're going to get free shipping, and you know, if let them know about an upgrade to consultant. How are they liking their products? Do they want to try something new next month? Set up a makeup consultation with them for free. Say, as a courtesy, because you're one of my clients, I'd love to set up a makeup consultation with you. If you want to grab a few friends, that's great. If you want it to just be me and you, that's fine too, but it's just a courtesy that I offer my clients. And then the holiday line is a huge thing this time of year. So getting bookings through the holiday line, but also if people are having trouble getting to that 150 order, say, hey, these make great gifts for people. I'd love for you to purchase a few. So that way you can already have some of your shopping done and you get a free gift with it as well. So. All right, thanks guys. Yeah.
You said the shake challenge and then you said 8 days.
So our team is just doing, it's called an 8-day shake challenge. And we have them as Facebook groups that people can join. You can just coach them through 8 days. 8 days is just over a week, so it's good for people to get exposed to the products and get into a routine. It's 2 shakes a day is what we recommend for them, and then 1 healthy meal. And we say, hey, listen, it's not as strict as our 30 days because if they're not getting the 30 to do a full strict clean eating challenge. But like my aunt who's been kind of like on the fence about doing the 30 days for a while, she reached out to me because I was letting people know about the 8-day shake challenge. She's like, I think I can handle this. And once I told her it wasn't as strict, and go with it. And she's actually eating clean just like the 30 days. So it's funny, but it's a good way to get people. Get a lot of people doing it.
Yeah. Without the detox part of it, do they get the same results?
You can never guarantee results per se, but I will say she's telling me that she's feeling a lot better, and I can almost guarantee that she'll be like, "Oh, my pants are a little looser after a week," or because she.
Well, the other thing too is if you think about it, like depending on where they're starting,
right?
Like it's still a step in the right direction for a lot of people. If you were working with somebody maybe who was already eating pretty clean, you probably wouldn't be intimidated by the 30 days. You know, they might not see that drastic of a result, but if they're coming from like just shaping their eating behaviors and but imagine the results, right? If they were doing the detox component, I'm sure it would be much more significant.
You know, she's been doing Weight Watchers because they can eat whatever they want. They just count points.
Right.
So, like, I'm like, I don't think you're actually decreasing inflammation in your body. So this is a great way to take that in her hands. And then 2 shakes that they have found out too, or 2 bags of protein is a 150 order.
Yeah, I love that now. It's so perfect. I'm like, yes, because they used to be like 2 bags of protein and then we have to add something. But now it's
Is there any particular start time on that? Like the
For the
30
8-day
day?
shake challenge, there's groups in our group. They start every other week, I believe. They might be doing every week. Just have to. Yeah.
The other thing too that I know some nations and stuff do is if they're doing many things like that, having a group that just has the resources there that's ongoing that you add people to, so that you don't have to launch a new group every which can be a lot to keep up with as you're growing your team. So, but next we have another trainer. I'm really excited. Heidi is an incredible district manager on our team. And she is someone who has incredible success with our healthy living program. So I love that you were just talking about the healthy living. I was going to piggyback off of you and go over some sponsoring. But I'm going to have Heidi go ahead and share a little bit from her personal experience with the Healthy Living Challenge in addition to her story. So thank you, Heidi.
Thank you. When I came tonight, my husband said, seriously, you have no makeup on. I'm like, this is the most accepting group of women that there is. So thank you. I'm just telling you up front. Thank you. I appreciate that. I do. I did want to let you know a little bit about my story because I think my story is just a little bit unique. So I used to work for the American Red Cross as a disaster fundraiser. I was able then to stay home with 20 years with my children. What a tremendous blessing that was. And now I'm the volunteer director of English as a second language program. So I'm a busy person, but I love my life and I loved my jobs that I did. And I really wasn't looking for anything, certainly not network marketing. That was something that I said was something I would not do until I realized I needed it. And that's when I realized that I needed to do some research and figure out what network marketing really is. And when I did that research, I realized that even though I wasn't looking for it, it was looking for me, and it was the perfect opportunity. Today's market, I'm not very marketable. I've been out of work for 20 years. I've worked for nonprofits. I'm a strong volunteer. What skills do I really have? So I was introduced to Arbonne because I was having some serious physical difficulties, and I knew this was for me. I knew I needed to make some changes. And when my friends shared with me, Heidi, this isn't the cure-all, this is not the miracle, this is simply tools that are going to help you be successful. And I said, that's what I need. I already know in my brain what I need to do. I just need something to help me get there. And so I started on my journey with the healthy living and immediately started to see some results. That was phenomenal. But I didn't care to think about the business side until I tried the skincare, and then that was phenomenal. And I said, all right, this is good. But when I saw the business side, my first thought was, what am I going to do with Arbonne? What is Arbonne going to be for me? See, because it's very important to me. I'm not going to just choose any network marketing company. I need one that I am truly going to be able to believe in. I'm a Christ follower, and so it was very important for me to be able to say that I believed in this company. That when they say they are pure, safe, and beneficial, they really, truly are. And I needed something that when I said I use these products every day, I really meant it. I'm not just going to do this half-heartedly. I needed to do something that was important. I also needed to believe and be able to say to you, these really are truly vegan, soy-free, dairy-free, chemical-free for being safe and beneficial. And I needed something that I could stand behind. But then I needed one more thing. I needed something that was not going to make me give me the requirement of keeping product or delivering, because I don't drive. I'm actually legally blind. And so when I stand up here before you and I say, if I can do this, so can you. You really can. Arbonne is something that is personal. It is something that I share with you and you and you. And I say to you, this is what Arbonne has done for me. This is how amazing Arbonne is and how wonderful I feel. And I think you understand. Our bodies, if we're going to work so hard to change ourselves from the inside, why would we want to put stuff on the outside that's going to go right back in? So I wanted to be able to say, I can do something and still be a person of value. I do. I may be blind, but I am a person of value. And blindness or low vision does not define me. Arbonne actually has given me more than I originally expected. It has been fun contributing to my household, and I am going to get that Benz for my husband to drive someday.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be exciting, and that has been really, really fun. But it's giving me the tools I needed for the healthy lifestyle. It has given me a new glow on my face, not just from the products, but like we say, Arbonne is healthy from the inside out. I feel renewed, I feel rejuvenated, and I have this great new bond of friendships that I can feel comfortable now standing in front of with no makeup on and dirty hair. But the other thing that Arbonne has done for me that I didn't expect was give me the opportunity to help somebody else. And so if I can learn to do this, so can you. And then we all, each of us, will have the tools that we need to duplicate it, to give it to somebody else. So for me, Arbonne is more than a job. Arbonne is a lifestyle. And it is something that I have adopted that has made me a person who sometimes worries about value, to say I am a person of value and I have something to share. So you know what I didn't share? My dreams. So Michelle told me I really need to do that. So, you know, you were talking about going to Ecuador with your husband. My husband's a scuba diver. And for years we've always said, well, you know, someday he'll be able to open his own shop or whatever it might be. But we're at the place now where we are dreaming, we are planning, we are physically drawing something out to say, we can do this. This can be our new passion, because this is something that I can do at this stage of my life with the limitations that I seemingly have according to other people.
Yay! Tell them how. So what's your success on healthy living?
I have lost 22 pounds and 11.5 inches since the last of April.
Wow.
And my inflammation, that's the big thing, is I have an autoimmune disease. And so to get rid of that inflammation, I feel great. That's probably my biggest blessing. Yeah, that's right. It is how are you feeling. Yeah, it is all about the feeling.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Heidi. I know that, and this was her first time sharing her story at a meeting, so really proud of her for that. Yes.
Use my little notes.
No, I'm so proud of you. The next trainer that we have, again, I'm just so excited to have met Colleen. Again, Executive Regional Vice President, soon to be National Vice President, I'm sure. But I just am really excited for her to share. I know what we've been trying to do is spotlight different RVPs or that are, because so many of you guys are going region. I mean, so many of you guys are going region by the end of the year, right? Yes. So, yes. So really, I asked Colleen to just share some tips for you guys. So I'm going to have Colleen come up and just share some tips on going region. So, yay.
I went back and reread. You asked me to share 3 tips.
Yes.
3 tips. Okay. So, and you've said this tonight probably 5 times. I made a decision 13 years ago. I made a decision. There's no doctors in the room, right? I was done. Like 14 years with doctors was a long time. And I was in the glamour end of it. And I was just done. I was done not getting paid what I was worth. And it was my time. So I made a decision. And then the second thing is I got into massive activity. Now, I've never done my business crazy. Never. I've never burned myself out. I don't promote that on my team. But here's what I have done. I've worked this business like a real business, not like a hobby, not like start, stop, start, stop. Oh, something happened. Oh, I can't work for a while. And the truth is I've never had that luxury. I've had to work. You know, I've had to take care of myself. So I worked this business consistently like a real business from the very, very beginning. Even when I was in treatment, you guys, in Chicago, I took with me a stack of my best clients because I knew they were going to reach out to me while I was in treatment. And, you know, a couple of them had to wait maybe a day or so. But, you know, when I felt up to it, I got up, I pulled their paperwork out, and I placed their orders. You know, so decision, consistent, like a real business. I always go, this isn't the brownies. This is like a real business, and this is big business. And I know it's hard to wrap yourself around that. We're in the very beginning. I know I certainly couldn't. I mean, I didn't have a clue what was going to happen to me in this business. But this is a really big business that anybody, I don't care how old you are, I don't care how educated you are or aren't. I am not formally educated at all. Neither is Sandra Tillinghast. Neither is Donna Johnson at the top of the company. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So decide, work like real business, consistent, and then this one's really, really important. I have always been 100% coachable. To this day, I am 100% coachable. And if you will unplug, and what I've watched over the years, it's like I had a woman come in, you talked about salespeople. I had a woman come in my business years ago who was making a lot of money here in North Carolina as a woman in sales. I mean, she was killing it. She came into my business and crashed and burned, just crashed and burned. She thought it was about sales, and she thought it was about her. And it just did not happen. And it was a bummer because I kept telling her, you are the next Dana Collins. I mean, she was powerful. She was beautiful. She was bright. She knew everything. I mean, I would call her and go, whatever her name, we'll pretend Mary, what's this mean? You know? But yeah, just crashed and burned because it's a relationship business. So 100% coachable. I can remember once in the very beginning, I had sold I think it was like $750 in 1 week. And I called Sandra and I said, I got to pay my bills. I go, I need to sell at least $1,500 this week to handle my bills. And she goes, okay, well, let's go over what you're saying and who you're getting in front of. I said, okay. So we went over what I was saying and remember, we're like sisters. So I told her something I was saying. She goes, you said that? I go, yeah, to a lot of people. She said, don't ever say that again. Okay, I didn't argue. I didn't go, well, wait, you're not here. Oh, no, you don't know Mary. You know, you don't understand the situation. No. I'm like, got it, check it off, never said it again. And I got in front of different people. So coachable. This is not a day job. We want you to win. We want you to win. We want you guys to be better than us. There's nothing I wouldn't just love to be, and I'm sure Michelle will agree, to sit at GTC in the audience and everybody go, is she yours? Or is he yours? I'm like, that's mine. That person's mine. And they're just killing it. They're just blowing it up and having fun. And they're better than me. I mean, that's exciting. What'd you say? Sponsor up. Exactly. Yeah, we never sit and go, oh my gosh, she's doing better than me. What am I going to do? No, that's not this industry. It's just not. It's all about empowerment and attracting people who are better and just assisting them, you know. So I would say that'd be the three things.
I love it.
Yep.
Awesome. That's such a good one too, coachable. So true.
Coachable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate it. Well, and thank
You're
you.
welcome, Sue. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And
fun.
thank you so much for presenting.
Oh,
It was so
thank
much
you. I
fun.
love these. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
And
great.
then Heidi, yours. Katie? So I'm just going to wrap up. Something I've been getting asked to train a lot on is sponsoring, as well as fourth quarter, of course, momentum, which we talked about a little bit last month. One of the biggest things that I have to tell you about sponsoring new business partners is, oh look, perfect timing. Dun, 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 dun. End of the build. Honestly, it's not about you. And I said this earlier. The number one thing that you can remember if you want to sponsor is it's not about you. Leave your ego at the door. And what I mean by that is when you're afraid to share this business with someone, right? And some people call it the chicken list. There's a great Learn and Burn where they call it the lobster list, but whatever. But whatever you want to call it, right? We all have those people that we're intimidated. And usually it's the people where we talk about sponsoring up. And what does that mean? And it doesn't mean go sponsor a doctor, although, you know, I have to tell you there's a pattern of success that you see. And I don't care if they're the best stay-at-home mom around, right? You know, you're looking for people who are driven. That's sponsoring up. You know, people who have those genuine qualities that you look for. But we all have people that we're scared to talk to. I still have a chicken list that I work through, but and I'm 3 years in the business, and but a lot of times we don't reach out to those people because we're intimidated or we're scared. And if we're intimidated or we're scared, are we making it about them and what this business could do for them, or are we making it about our insecurities, right, and our fear? So that's why I say it's not about you. It's not about you. When you sponsor someone into this business, they're not a number, right? And people will sense that about you. Okay, if you are sponsoring someone, and ask yourself this, and you know, sometimes we have to do a checkup from the neck up, right? You know, especially the end of the month, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like, you know, 1,000 QB from hitting my DM bonus or from hitting this goal of mine or whatever. When you're sitting down with that person, is it about that 1,000 QB, or is it about what this will do for their life and the changes that they're making? Because I'll tell you right now, if you make people feel like a number, they're going to sense that. This is a business of the heart. So, so that's why I say it's not about you. It really is about them. Also, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Don't talk the whole time. It's not about you. It's not about you. Sometimes, you know, I'm a speech pathologist. You've heard me here present and share, right? I'm wordy by nature. I am sorry. It's just this gift that I've been given. So sometimes I have to tell myself, Michelle, how long have you been talking? Shh, zip it. Like, ask questions. And there is a great, I think it's a Go for the Gold, or maybe it's a Learn and Burn on asking questions. There are tons actually out there on asking questions, asking the right questions. ask them. We call it FORM, right? So family, occupation, recreation, and then message. Ask them about their family. If they're new, right? Yes, FORM, F-O-R-M, and it stands for family, occupation, recreation, and then you get to your message. So family, do you have any kids? Or, you know, when I met you at Target and you had that cute little baby. How old is she? You know, oh, how's she sleeping? You know, I mean, talk to them. Find out about their family. Are you from this area? Oh, well, your family's in Iowa. Like, you know, make conversation. You know, occupation. Ask them about their job. What do you love about what you do? If you ask somebody usually what they love about what they do and they have a J-O-B, just over broke, right, and they got that daily grind, they're usually going to tell you everything they hate about their job. But talk to them about their job. Oh, you know, you're an occupational therapist. How long have you been doing that? Are you in pediatrics or geriatrics population? Make conversation, make connections. Recreation, always ask what they like to do for fun. Oh, my husband, I love to travel. Oh, have you been to a lot of exciting places lately? Well, no, he can't get off work and my vacation time's so limited. And honestly, right now we have a son in college, like we've really been limited on our travel. Talk to them. They're going to pour their why out to you if you ask questions. You're not busy trying to tell them about the Benz because, like Katie, I was like, okay, that's great. Like, I kind of want a Toyota Highlander. Okay? Like, I was like, can I get that money? I mean, it wasn't about the Benz. Now it's all about the Benz because the Benz to me represents what I'm doing for other people. It's a symbol of showing people what's possible, right? But, you know, you don't know. If I go on and on about my time freedom, right, with my children and how I'm, you know, the first week across her mom pulled my son out of daycare, that might not mean anything to Heidi because her daughters are older, right? She might not be looking for that. So that's why you have to ask questions. You're building trust. You're building relationship. You make connections with people. It's not about you. Stop talking about your story. Stop talking about your business and start asking questions about what this can do. What need do they have? What problem can you help with in their lives? And that is a great way to look at sponsoring, is to remember it's not about you. Ask questions, right? Build relationships. I have someone who just joined last week in my business. I'm actually launching her tomorrow night. I talked to her for 2 years. I met her at a vendor event. And then I saw her again at gymnastics. And when I got her information at a vendor event, she works at Dress Barn. And I did like a sip and shop type thing there a while ago. And so anyway, but I met her 2 years ago. She joined my business last week. Why? Because I continue to build a relationship. I saw her daughter at Girl Scouts one night. I was like, oh my goodness, you know, I didn't realize you went here. Messaging on Facebook. You know, building those relationships. Most of the people that are direct to me and they join my business over a year of following up. Okay, so why I'm telling you that is sometimes like I have someone who was like, oh, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, we get this head trash. Like we get this, and remember, it's not about you, but these you know, these little gremlins creep in. And like, oh, she's not answering you because she's so annoyed with you because she thinks you're harassing her. You've been talking to her for a year. I mean, granted, every couple months, you know, sending a message. And she just got back to me and was like, hey, sorry it's been so long. Like, you know, now that the kids are in school and my husband's business is settling a little bit, I feel like I can really look at this weekend when my husband and I go on a vacation alone together for the first time in a long time. And I'm really excited to jump in and get started. Now, here we go. Okay, a year. And what I'm telling you, these stories of people jumping in that I've been talking to for over a year, guess what it comes back to too? Is the decision. Because of that law of attraction, right? You have that belief, you know where you're going, right? You're in activity, you're in momentum. People are attracted to momentum. I had 2 people message me that I haven't talked to in forever who are now asking about Arbonne. Okay, but I'm telling you guys, and it's not like, oh, the Michelle story. I'm telling you this because this is what happens when you really make a decision and you have inspired action and you're in activity. Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to share.
Yeah.
2 quick things.
Yes, please do.
The promoted AP that I just promoted out in September. She's been in the business for 12 years. 5 months ago, she made a decision. This was the first time in all those years that she ever worked for this business, like in your business. And it was so powerful for the rest of my team because I go, you get to see the result.
Yes.
When you make the decision and you actually do it. She showed up.
True.
You know, she showed up start, stop. And then the other quick thing is the welcome back thing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to Raleigh to launch Barbara Whitecross, interior designer, who came in 2010. And what I remember about her was she made the story up that, oh, this stuff's so expensive. She came in and sponsored 4 people right out of the gate. And then she made up the story. And they're all gone. I almost didn't call her. I almost did not. I sat at my desk. I can remember it like it was just yesterday.
Wow.
Don't call her. And I had my little story going on. I can't remember what shifted though. Picked up the phone. Within a minute, she goes, oh my gosh, Colleen, I want to talk to you about the business again. I'm in a completely different place today. And I sat there going, gosh, you almost didn't call her.
Yes.
Your little story.
I love it.
I know.
What an amazing testimony to
We
share.
all do that. Like,
Yeah.
we all do that.
Yeah, please do. Share.
So I don't know if you guys are Christians, but this is something my pastor said that has stuck with me, is when moments like that come, and I remember thinking that when I was doing the 30 and 30 text challenge the other day, I'm like, oh, she did not want to hear from you, she didn't answer you back, blah, blah, blah. It's the enemy planting seeds in your mind. It's like pointing in the right direction, like, okay, thanks for the tip. Sent.
Yes.
She said, yeah, watch it. So I was like, yes.
Oh my
You know what I
gosh,
mean?
I love
So-
it. It's so true. And when there are things like that that you really don't want to do and you push through and you do it anyway, that's where that is, and that's where the results live.
Yeah.
Like it's just that tug. Like, I mean, yeah, I could go on. It's so true. But yeah, listen to your heart, listen to your wish, and don't let yourself, like whatever story you're telling yourself, get out of it. You know, same thing with sponsoring. I want to talk to you guys also about sponsoring everywhere and anywhere. Don't think you have to sponsor only at a presentation. I'll be very honest with you guys. Follow the system for success. The more presentations you do, the better. Whether you call them presentations, workshops, parties, classes, whatever you want to call them. The more you do, you're getting in front of a lot of people. And there are a great deal of people that came from my business through a presentation. But when I started my business, if you would have told me that I had to do a ton of presentations, I would have laughed in your face and walked the other way. Because where I was at in my life with a 2-year-old and 8-week-old with a husband who was working long hours, I was not fitting those in like I would have liked to. Okay? But guess what I was doing? I was listening for opportunities everywhere. At the post office, right? At the store, at the mall, at mommy play dates, right? Wherever I was listening. At work, I was listening for a need. That is really important to fit it into your daily lifestyle. Don't ever have the switch of, okay, wearing my Arbonne hat. No, 24/7 is Arbonne hat. You always have that on. You are always thinking of helping other people. How can I serve this person? What need do they have that I can help fill? That is really important, you know, because when you're going crazy, I mean, there are times where literally my son is having a meltdown in Harris Teeter, and I'm like, I will get this woman's Facebook contact information because I feel a connection with her. And her kid's in the car having the same old meltdown. We have a connection. Even if it starts with a play date, don't feel like you have to say, I'm in Arbonne and I really want to talk about Arbonne. It's this amazing health and wellness. No, zip it. Just make a friend. Make a friend. The relationships come. There are people that I always, you know, lead with the business, always. But there are people that I will have a play date with, and they'll see. If they're your friend on Facebook, they're going to be like, oh, look, she was just at this beach house challenge. Oh, look, you know, there she is loving on her team, or there's her kid with a protein shake milk mustache. Whatever it is, if they look at my Facebook and they look at some pictures, they can see that I'm in Arbonne. Not because I say sale, like a lot of other companies do, 20% off, right? Because it's my lifestyle. So people figure that out on their own. So you don't have to do that. But just focus on making a friend. I have someone I was just talking to, when was the beach house challenge? A week ago? Anyway, I was just talking to somebody and I said, you know what? Like, she was super nervous and we were out after like a fun day of training and at the beach, and we were out waiting to go on a carriage ride in historic Cape May in New Jersey. And this girl on my team was like, I just don't like talking to people when I'm out. I'm like, okay, this is your homework. Are you ready? She's like, oh gosh, what are you gonna make me do, Michelle? I'm like, just go in and strike up a conversation, compliment somebody on their shoes, like whatever, genuine compliment. Just say something to someone when you're in the fudge shop. So she goes in, she comes out with 2 numbers. 2. I was like, do you see the power of intention? Just do it. And sure enough, they had a mutual friend like 3 hours from her house, but they had a mutual friend on Instagram. But honestly, like, just get out of your own head. And if you're nervous to talk to people, start there. Start there. Get comfortable stepping out of your comfort zone when you're out and about. You know, and like I said, I mean, there are times where I've gone back into a store. I've been like, Michelle, get out of your own head. My kids, I will tell you guys, I was leaving a playground and there was this like really nice gentleman, and I had Carson, I think he was little, he was in a carrier, and my daughter wanted to do the monkey bars. So this dad came and like lifted her up and helped her across. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so nice. Well, she got down and said thank you. And then she started running the other way, and then we were leaving, and she's like, Mom, you did not even give that nice man a fizz stick. True story. She was probably 3. No joke. They will keep you, yeah. I mean, she called me out, and I was like, you're right. I'm like, do you want to go give it to him? She's like, yeah. And she's like, this is an energy fizz stick. And the dad looks at me. I'm like, okay. But she's done that to us at restaurants. But the one time she did it right at Just Fresh, there was this older gentleman, and he was so sweet telling us about his granddaughter. And she said the same thing. She's like, Mom, you're never going to get to the tippy top that way. Yeah. Now, she was 5 then, so she knew a little bit more about the business. But she's right. Like, who am I not to talk to this person who was so incredibly sweet? Right? I mean, you don't know their story. But it's true. My kids keep me honest. You know, my son, one of his first words was Arbonne, now an approximation, of course. But yeah, it's true. Those packages, man, when they come, they're tearing them open. Where's my vitamins? Where are the fit shoes? But really, I'm just trying to say there are opportunities everywhere. Don't get in sponsoring mode. It doesn't have to be when you're dialing or you're sending your text messages or your Facebook. Oh, got to get my asks in, right? It doesn't have to be when you're working on your 100-person list or your 30 and 30. Look for opportunities everywhere, because you'll be amazed at the connections that you make and build relationships. It takes about 7 or more touches, contacts, for someone to join. So just keep in mind, a lot of times, anybody read the book 3 Feet from Gold? So good. It's really good. It's really good. It's like it references a lot Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. Such a good book. I would highly recommend that one. I just finished it. But you know, it talks about being 3 feet from gold, and it's so true. Like sometimes if they just need one more touch, one more product drop off, one more reach out, one more check in, and they would have jumped in, right? And then you don't do it. So just keep that in mind with sponsoring. The other thing too is when you're sponsoring, make sure you're setting them up for success. Whatever your system is, keep that in mind, because sometimes Arbonne can get a bad rap because we don't really coach them to follow the system. Remember that you're their sponsor. It's not about you, it's about helping them. So whatever your system is, whether it's presentations, this many presentations, 2 business launches in 10 days, whatever your system is, they might say, you know what, I really don't think this is the best time of year for my friends, so I'm gonna have my launch like January, right? And you say, okay, all right, because you're new, maybe you're a new consultant, and you're like, okay, whatever you think, that's fine. You know what I say? You know what, I totally get what you're saying, right? But what I've seen is that really to have that sense of urgency and really help you get promoted, we recommend our system is to have the 2 launches within 7 days or whatever your system is, right? And that's how I know to be successful. You don't have to do it. I'm not your boss, right? I'm just here to help support you. But this is how I know to be successful in Arbonne. And go back to what their goals are, right? Because that's one of the first things when you're sponsoring people, you want to know their goals. There are people that joined my organization years ago that were like, I just want guilt-free shoe money. I'm a stay-at-home mom and all I want is shoes and not to ask my husband for money for it. Then you have other people who are like, well, I want, to be able to pay my mortgage with Arbonne. Then there are other people who are like, well, I want to help as many people as I can. I want to be training at GTC on the stage as the keynote speaker someday, touching 20,000 plus lives, right? Like, this is what you have to determine is where they're at, because it's not about you, it's about them and their goals. And you're going to coach somebody who wants to be in the $1 Million Club very differently than you're going to coach a couple $100 a month, right? So just remind them of when you jumped in, this is my commitment to you. So when you're sponsoring, like, yes, this is how we sponsor, but the second part is make sure you're sponsoring them and teaching them the tools that they need to be successful. Because if you let them wait till January when they want to do it, by then they're going to crash and burn, right? Most likely, if they're not in activity, they're not launched into activity, they're going to say, oh, I have all these products that, I'm using and I love, but I'm not going to get that investment back. I'm not going to, right? Why? Because they might have bought the products for themselves to be using, but they're not in any activity because they don't know any different. So I just encourage you guys when you're sponsoring. And last thing about sponsoring is fourth quarter. So, which actually we're right on time. So fourth quarter, you have so much more potential for sponsoring. Some people are like, oh, the holidays, oh, it's so busy. People are out. You've got cookie swaps. You've got, not that we're eating the cookies, but we're swapping the cookies, right? And then gifting them, I don't know. But like, but there's cookie swaps. There's, get-togethers, socials, holiday parties, maybe work events, your husband's work events, like whatever it might be, people are out and they're also spending money right now, right? So are they gonna go spend money at department stores? Or can they buy from you, support your business, and give them a pure and safe product at a ridiculously inexpensive price compared to what they're worth, right? And have them shop from their own home. Like, Katie, I love that you talked about that. Bring them the holiday products. Get them sponsored and started, right, with a 150 order, simple. So there is right now, like, what you really need to do is if you're serious about getting to the next level, whatever that is for you, or you're hitting your goal by December 31st of this year, don't do it right now, but get out your calendar. Colleen talked about this, and I think this is so important. This is what I was going to end with is think about what your goals are and be real. Open up your calendar. How many drop-offs do you have? And that's part of our system is, sharing products with people. How many drop-offs do you have? How many one-on-ones do you have? Coffee appointments, play dates, wine dates, whatever you want to call them, right? How many one-on-ones do you have? How many are you doing your 40 faces? Right? How many presentations are on your calendar? If you're saying, I'm going to be in my Benz by December 31st of this year, and you open up your calendar, does it align with what you're saying? And if not, that's okay. That's why we have these meetings, right? So you can be inspired and empowered to go home and pack your calendar. Do a booking blitz. Try and do like the 30 and 30, suggest 100 reach outs in 24 hours, right? Whatever it is, like, I want you to really think tonight and leave inspired and know that you decide how you're ringing in 2018. This is the fourth quarter. This is endless possibilities. The only thing that it takes is the decision, the consistent activity, right? And to be coachable and look for opportunities everywhere. And just remember, it's not about you, right? Somebody is praying for this. They might not know that it's Arbonne. Most people don't know the form that they're praying for, right? Or, that they're hoping for, right? They don't know the form that it's going to take. But let you, and I think I read that storyline before about the parachute, let you be the one giving somebody the parachute, giving somebody the lifeline. Next meeting, guys, I love what this is. I love how intimate it is. But let's make a decision to have a guest on each arm next meeting. New business partners coming in, breathing new life into this team. Because I know where my vision, by the end of this year, we're not going to be able to fit enough chairs in here. Seriously. And you guys know we've had some packed nights in here. But that's nothing. If you're not making it about you and you're sponsoring, you're going to blow this place out of the water. So, well, thank you guys so much. Thank you again to all you amazing trainers. It was so great having you. I loved your energy. Thank you to everybody tuning in or everybody watching the video. Hope you're having a great night. And we will talk soon.